This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. Listen, please double check your subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and make sure your notifications are turned on, because these bad actors don't want more people aware of all the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market. Listen, a lot of people are asking me about the QNTM shares, okay? And it seems that Fidelity would not DRS those shares. And the bottom line is this. There are different reasons why shares are not eligible for DRS. And sometimes the shares are like foreign shares and things like that. And that's what the narrative that they're trying to push out there. But here's the thing. After doing a little bit of research, the DD they say we don't do, we close our eyes and throw darts at boards, and that's how we decide what financial instruments to invest in. Well, it might be hard to believe, but there are some QNTM shares that are DRS'd. There are QTM shares, about 260,000, if I'm not mistaken, that are DRS. So obviously, the problem with DRS and QNTM shares is not the QSIP number. The QSIP number is not the reason that you can't DRS those QNTM shares, because there are QNTM shares that are DRS. So obviously, the problem is not the QNTM shares. Well, not real QNTM shares. The bottom line is this, and this is just my opinion. I'm not telling you to buy, hold, or sell QNTM shares. But if you can't DRS those shares, those are counterfeit shares. Well, they will call them synthetic shares, FTD shares. But you guys know what I call them. I call them counterfeit shares. The reason that you can't DRS any shares that other shares are already DRS. If that QSIP number is able to DRS for some of those shares, then it should be able to DRS for all of those shares. And if it's not eligible for DRS, it's because the shares are, they call them synthetic. I call them counterfeit. Like I tell you guys every day, they use the term synthetic to minimize the criminality in the transaction. Because what would we call synthetic Gucci bags? We would call them counterfeit. What we call synthetic property deeds, we would call them counterfeit. What we call synthetic car titles, we would call them counterfeit. Okay? The reason these QNTM shares can't be DRS'd is because they are counterfeit QNTM shares. If they were real QNTM shares, they would be eligible for DRS. And the thing is, they keep saying they're not eligible because they don't want to put it in writing that the shares are counterfeit. They don't want to put it in writing that the shares are counterfeit. And the thing is, anybody who's paying attention knows that they're counterfeit shares, because there are QNTM shares that are DRS'd. So if these group of shares can't be DRS, it's because these group of shares are not real QNTM shares. They are counterfeit. The SEC knows it. The DOJ knows it. The FBI knows it. And they're doing absolutely nothing about it. All jokes aside, the naked shorting in the United States stock market is really out of control. It's out of control. And the so-called smart money have the rules already bent in their favor. And because they can't win using those rules, they break their own rules and violate the law. And the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI practices willful blindness to the fraud and corruption going on their watch. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Why do you think they can't DRS those QNTM shares? Is it because those QNTM shares are counterfeit shares? Anyway, have a great day. God bless. I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.